Are you a good multitasker? How many things do you think you can do simultaneously? 2? 3? 5? Despite the fact that multitasking is something you likely do all the time, it turns out most of us aren't wired for it. Professor David Strayer's research has shown we generally aren't the multitaskers we may think we are.
Realistically, we can really only process one thing at a time. We're effectively serial processors, where we're doing one task at a time.
Strayer co-runs a lab at the University of Utah that studies how multitasking affects the brain.
When we try and multitask, we're just switching from one activity to another. Switching involves deactivating or paying attention to one task so that you can then process the other task, and switching back and forth.
So, is anyone a good multitasker? Meet Petrus Venter. He's a man who thinks he can do multiple things at once while doing them all effectively. We're going to put him and you to the test.
I'm the CEO of a group of companies. My feeling is that I can focus on whatever issues at hand. I have to be able to deal with many things simultaneously. In terms of multitasking, that I can do perfectly.
At the top of his list of commitments, a wife and 2 kids.
He is a very good multitasker because he has to answer emails, talk with clients, talk with us, eat.
It's terrifying being in a car with him.
He grips the steering wheel with his knees, texting or emailing.
He's always been like this, and I think it's getting worse.
We want to find out if Petrus is really the multitasker he says he is. Today, he's meeting up with Professor Strayer. And we'll put his multitasking skills to the test. In a familiar scenario, talking on his cell while driving.
I almost feel disconnected if I don't have my earbuds in. They normally stay in there for the whole of my life.
Petrus.
Distractions unlimited. I'm ready for your call.
So, how much snow has there been here?
We've had over 155 inches.
He's given 2 tasks to keep track of. Answer a series of basic questions and drive a uniquely challenging course. Petrus's multitasking skills are being put to the test with many distractions.
How do you get to your place in Salt Lake?
While a member of our crew asks him basic questions over the phone, he must avoid totaling his car on a variety of obstacles.
From Salt Lake, you have to follow the belt route. And,
So when did you start using your headset on the road?
I was doing work for a company. It was a lot. And
Petrus performed far worse than he expected. Now, Dr. Strayer's taking Petrus back to the lab for the second part of the test, designed to give a concrete rating to his multitasking ability. And we'll give you a chance to play along too.
We have a driving simulator. I'll have you do some cognitive tasks while you're driving. People who claim to be supertaskers can do that cognitive task and drive without impairments to either the cognitive task or to driving. So, you want to try being
Absolutely.
a supertasker?
I'd like to see.
This test simulates conditions of driving while talking on the phone. Petrus will have 2 tasks to do while driving: solving a series of math problems while memorizing a list of words. The test is designed to be more demanding than an average phone conversation, so Dr. Strayer can track just how much Petrus's performance suffers at each task.
Excellent.
I'm going to ask you a series of math problems and give you a short word to remember after each problem. I'm going to ask you to recall all the words in the order that you heard them in. So, are you ready to begin?
Yes.
How about you? Want to give this one a try with Petrus? Obviously, you can't do the driving task, but try doing the math problems and memorizing the words. And we'll check in with you after to see how you did.
Is 3 divided by 1 minus 1 equal to 2?
Yes.
Ice. Is 2 times 2 plus 1 equal to 4?
No.
Owl. Is 9 times 2 plus 2 equal to 20?
Yes.
toy. Recall.
Ice, skip, no, the last one was toy.
Okay.
Do you know the word Petrus couldn't remember? It was owl. But don't feel bad if you missed that one. This is an extremely difficult test, and you're not even driving while doing it. With the test complete, Dr. Strayer is ready to give Petrus a concrete answer as to how he ranks as a multitasker.
Well, the good news is you're just like 98% of the rest of the people. You're like for driving performance, you got worse when you started to multitask, and the conversation task got worse when you're multitasking as well.
I think I'll put the cell phone a bit further away.
Thank you.
Excellent, thanks a lot. It's been a most fun day.
Okay, good.
Despite Petrus's conviction that he is an efficient multitasker, his final scores turn out to be about average. So if you and Petrus are among the vast majority of people who can't excel doing two things at once, what does this mean for the multitasking you do in your day-to-day life?
And,
let's look at the example of being on the phone while driving.
sorry.
Talking on a cell phone causes a form of inattention blindness where people look but just don't see information in the driving environment. They might miss the pedestrian, the traffic light.
A 2002 study estimated talking on the phone while driving causes over 2,500 deaths and 330,000 injuries every year in the U.S.
The likelihood of getting into a crash when you're talking on a cell phone is the same as getting into a crash when you are driving at a 0.08 blood alcohol level. For someone who's text messaging, the crash risk is twice that.